Alright, so I got some plans here for a Proton Pack. Alright, update on the Proton Pack build. I got some foam pieces here. I got this little guy made. This goes in the corner here. I got this main round body done, and that of course goes at the bottom. I'm working on this gearbox assembly here, which is basically I just filled foam, made a foam box and filled it with foam, waiting for it to harden so I can sand it, refine it, add some detail to it. And I also I made this little part here. So these are all just little parts. I still have a lot more to go. The dimensions on these plans are a little bit off because like they're really crazy measurements. Let's see, like 4.128 inches and 6.441 inches, and it's like, dude, are you serious? So I've been kind of rounding everything up to the nearest. Been rounding everything up to the nearest eighth of an inch. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. So far, we've got a back plate. We've got a foam board that's cut the exact same dimensions. And then in here, I have a bunch of laundry I gotta do. But over here, I've got this round piece here, which is about a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 inch under scale. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just do it how I do it. I've got this piece, which I don't know why, but I made this right angle and it's actually supposed to be like a curvature. So I gotta go back and fix that because I don't know why I did that. I was up late, and I covered this in the polyken tape because I thought it might cast smoother, even though it's gonna get a texturizer on it anyway, which will kind of make all these little lines disappear. But it makes it a lot smoother, and I think it'll form better in the vac form. I've got our corner piece here, which is yeah, done, I guess. I got this piece, which needs to be glued. I'm both happy and not happy with this piece because this section here is actually a 1/4 inch too wide. This piece here is about a 1/16 to a 1/4 inch, somewhere around there, too short, and everything else on it's pretty good, although it's not really smooth around here. I think I might redo this piece and this piece here, and then just go with the proper size. I ran out of polyken tape. I actually do have a little bit left, but I'm gonna try to save it if I absolutely need it. So anyway, I'm gonna work now on a couple more parts, and yeah. Yes, third battery's a charm. Sorry to be griping, but took 3 batteries to show you guys this. Hey, look, I'm wearing a hat. But it's coming along. Alright, so I took my motherboard because I need to add one more layer to this piece, because I want the plastic form to come all the way down and cover the side of the motherboard. So I actually cut my motherboard like so. I'm going to actually form all this as one piece, just like this, and it'll cut here, and then I'll cut off the overhang here. It can be a sloppy cut, it doesn't matter. It'll give me a nice flat space to glue down to the motherboard all the way around, because this will be the first piece to go on as I'm assembling it. Okay, so I thought I would lay everything out on the foam board just to kind of get an idea of how everything is going to fit together. And for the most part, pretty happy with it. Alright, so got all the little spots cut with the hot knife. Well, not cut, but I made all those little seams with the hot knife. And it fits perfect. Alright, so this is what I got so far. As you can see, I've been kind of busy. I went ahead, glued it. The glue's still drying. I used some polycan tape to kind of hold the sides together. I'm going to have a little bit of a seam that's going to show through right there, but at this point I don't care. I could have put a strip of polycan here to kind of hide that, but I thought, you know what, forget it. That's what I did here. This corner of it's right on the seam, so that'll kind of like eliminate it. The seams barely show up in a vac form, and to be honest, when I finish it with hammered textured paint, you never even see them, but you know, so I just said heck with it on that one. Who's got a clean office? This guy. Check this out. My office is freaking spotless, almost. Well, I mean, paint spots don't count. And I never did pull the carpet out that I cut around all the heavy stuff. But check this out. I cleaned and organized the shelf. I got all my paint up there. I got some molds and latex Bondo. I got more molds. I got my clay sculpture I'm working on, and automotive grade finish it there at the bottom, and my scrap styrofoam. This is so cool. Like, it actually, and of course I've got my Millennium Falcon and all that over here, but it's so cool because I love my office, but it's always a mess. Always a mess. I mean, always a mess. So now I have a clean workspace. You know, my vac form table is all clean, and that's actually why I busted out the old camera, because we're going to do some more vac forming. And what we're going to vac form is my really awesome Ghostbusters Proton Pack parts that I've been building and working on. I've still got a few to make. Only got 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of high impact polystyrene. So I'm really kind of stressing out because I'm broke. I mean, I'm always broke, but I'm really broke right now. And I want to be able to make at least 2 of these. I'd be lucky if I can make one with 4 sheets. Alright, so got the table set up. Got the first few pieces that I'm going to cast. I've got the HGA, the end filter. I've got this little spacer trim, the 2 spacer trim pieces. I've got this little part that goes on the spacer itself. I've got the corner piece, and of course the main piece here. Okay, so first things first, all these parts need to be lubricated with Vaseline. So I'm going to get the Vaseline out, and I'm going to start lubricating these parts so that they don't get stuck in the form. Alright, so everything's now greased up. Pretty much ready to do this form. I should wait because I haven't even made all the pieces for this Proton Pack yet, but I'm impatient and I want to go ahead and just do one form of these. Even though I only have 4 sheets left and it's going to use up a sheet, I'm really freaking out because I'm worried how this is going to form. It's so freaking tall. Golly, wish I had more spacing between this and that, but there's really nothing I can do except form it and hope that I don't get really bad webbing. So I'm going to kick the heaters on. Got my heaters on. The one was unplugged. Plastic's not quite ready. When the plastic's ready, when I tap it, it'll have like a wave effect. And I can kind of go by feel to know when the plastic's ready. It'll also bow down as it starts to melt in the center. So basically, I'm just waiting for the plastic to get to its proper temperature. Then I'm going to pick it up, drop it over the form, and I'm debating whether I should have the vacuum on when I drop the form in place, or whether I should drop it in place, then take the vacuum on. There's a chance that when I drop it in place, this could fall over. A lot of bad things can happen that we don't want to happen. So we're going to try to wait until the frame is seated before I kick the vacuum on, because if something gets knocked over, I can immediately put it back over the heat source, fix it, set it up, and have a second try. So let's look at this plastic. It's still not quite ready. It's very soft and wavy, but it's not quite where it needs to be. It's been 4 minutes. I'm going to give it 5 minutes. 5 minutes to give me a nice proper texture on the plastic, and I should be ready to back for it. So, just what I was afraid of. I had some webbing issues. As you can see, this tall piece did web. It's still usable, which is good. This piece is still usable. This piece actually came out pretty decent. I'm pretty happy with that. This piece came out real good. Got a little bit of webbing here, but it's not visible, so I won't have to do any kind of repair. I'm actually really happy with the spacer pieces. They came out all right. This piece did too, for the most part. Got a little webbing here that I didn't want, but in a little bit here, which is fixable. Could be worse. This corner piece came out really good. This piece, unfortunately, if you look at the bottom, I was not successful on this piece. Though I am happy with the way it turned out around these washers and stuff. That's actually really, really cool. For the most part, I'm happy with it. I'm not too happy that these lines showed up as prominent as they did. Wasn't really wanting that. But it's just one of those things I have to deal with. So I could try to salvage this piece by cutting it here, and then I could actually make this rib piece and put it on this larger piece here, which I think I might actually do, just to be able to salvage this, because I only have 4 sheets. So thank God this wasn't a loss, other than this main piece. I don't know. I'm gonna try to do my best to salvage what I have here, but I'm very happy with the majority of these pieces. I really am. I can't complain too much, because it's not hard to fix these seams, although I don't want to have to fix anything, but it looks good. Alright, so this is basically the turnout of that vac form. As you can see, this guy didn't survive. I could not get him off the mold for the life of me, and I realized I didn't put any Vaseline on it. That's why. Luckily, it's not damaged, although these foam got cooked a little bit. But the spacer came out really great. I'm happy with it. It's nice. Same with the other half of it. 2 halves go like that. But yeah, that came out really nice. The spacer trim. The corner piece came out pretty decent. It didn't form as sharply around the edges I would have liked for it to. But I'm not gonna complain too much. It is what it is. Of course, this guy cracked the HGA. Cracked. I'm probably gonna salvage it because of the fact that I really don't want to try to do that again. It was a real pain getting it off, and you know, stuff. I mean, this kind of stuff happens. It's gonna have to be painted, sanded, all kinds of stuff. I would have liked for more of a ridge on that center washer, but I'm not gonna. This piece came out the best, I think, of all the pieces. That's my cut line right there where my thumb's at, all the way around. So I'm actually really happy with that piece. That piece came out great. This piece, I'm happy and not happy. It had a couple of lines that I had to cut out. Also, this area here is all kind of haggard. I'm going to glue it. Luckily, none of the real bad spots are spots that show. So I'm going to glue it and sand it and kind of do some magic, foam fill it, and hopefully that will fix the problem with this piece. Alright, so new and improved. I replaced the foam stripping that crushed under the weight with a piece of foam. Basically set it on a piece of foam, traced out, cut it out. Then I cut out the circle and sanded it, and I hot glued it, but I left a couple of gaps. There's a tiny gap there with a little hole, you can see. There's another one there, another one there. they're all around, and if you flip it over, you'll see I've got this channeled so that no matter where this is sitting on the vacuum form table, as long as a couple of those holes are inside one of these channels, it'll create suction inside here. So it'll suck this corner here, it'll suck the plastic up against it, nice tight seam. So I'm pretty happy with it. I've got it taped because I hot glued it, but I don't need it anymore, so I'm going to peel the tape off. I wished I would have done this before because this piece would have came out good and not been a total disaster like it was, but I'm going to cover it in Vaseline now and set it on the back form table and have it ready for later. I've got these pieces still drying quite a bit. They're still really wet on the inside, so I gotta fart with them a little bit later. Alright, so I pulled off all that crappy rubbery foam, and right now I'm taping and gluing a bunch of the foam, little strips of 1/4-inch foam board that I stuck on there. Again, I'm not going to use this as a mold. I'm actually just going to, once I form around it, I'm just going to leave it in there. It's so much work to try to pull this out and salvage it, and I'd rather just leave it behind, and then if I want to make another one later, I can. Or what I could do is take my finished piece and cover it in latex and make a mold. So I could do it in like another material, fiberglass or resin cast or whatever. So I don't know. That's it. Okay, so even though I really didn't want to, I decided to vac form these two pieces together as one piece. I'm not gonna lie, this is starting to lose its flavor. Just really bites that I'm so low on materials. I only have a couple sheets of vac form, and these parts are so much bigger than I realized that taking up a lot of space in the form. I'm going to have to leave my styrofoam molds inside the plastic. So I'm stressing a little bit. I wanted things to go a little smoother. I still have to finish the spacer. I need to put the little trim pieces that go here on. That alone is going to take practically a whole sheet just for this one freaking piece. Alright, you got the holes bondoed up, sanded, and if the camera will focus, they're not perfect, but you know, it's supposed to look like cast iron, so plus it's getting the hammered texture paint, so I think it'll be okay. There it is. Of course, winter is almost upon us. It's about a week into fall, and my heater's on, and it's gonna drive me nuts because now every time I make a video, I'm gonna hear my heater in the background. Anyway, I just got a bunch of stuff in the mail. I got this really cool package. I bought this lot of it was only $17, and it came with a couple of the stickers, some hose, some of these are not screen accurate, at least for the GB1 costume. I don't know about the GB2, these little resistors, but they are Dale resistors. And you know, I thought to heck with it. I mean, even if I don't use them, there's a bunch of other stuff in here. There's these little banjo fittings, these little fittings, a bunch of various colors, hoses. So it was 17 bucks. Even if I use one thing out of here, I'll feel like I didn't waste my money. And then this came today, and this is my let's try a little two-hander action here. This is basically the clippers. As I said, I wasn't going to keep. Oh yeah, nice. I wasn't going to keep the. These are great. These are really great. These are better than I expected. Really well done resin cast. Like the foil stickers, very cool. I mean, they're not perfect, but considering they're pretty great. I'm pretty happy with these. Pretty happy with these indeed. These right here, I think were 30 bucks for these two clipboards. So I've got one for the Neuron wand as well. Wand, gun, thrower, whatever you want to call it. And then I also got this piece. This piece I was going to make. I said I was going to make it because I figured out a bunch of stuff to use to make it and cast it. And I thought for 15, 16 bucks, why would I do that? I mean, just buy it. You know, I'd end up spending more than that. Anyway, resin cast, plastic resin. It's got a little flaw in it there. Not a big deal. Actually, I think it's pretty decent. Alright, so here's my wand. Sorry I didn't film any of the construction. I just sprayed it with primer. I did this little sleeve, and I did this third ear here, which you don't see in a lot of these builds. A lot of people leave it off, not me. But it's looking pretty good. I call it wand. Alright, so this is my Proton wand. What I've got so far, I've added the heatsink, the knob, clipboard, top knob, I've added this knob, handles, I've added all the ears, and I've added this little collar with bolts. Oh, and of course I've added this wire that can be seen in some of the reference pictures. Pretty much it. Oh yeah, I took a white milk jug, cut the plastic off, and made the little filament that goes inside there, the diffuser. So that's pretty neat. Coming along. Okay, so it's been about maybe 2 hours since the last footage I recorded. And what I've got done is I went ahead and weathered it. We've got both front and rear cylinders installed. We got the brass valve. I've weathered the handle. And that's pretty much it. I don't know if I had the heatsink on in the last video, but I've got it on there. Yeah, put a couple scratches in the handle. Seem a little more realistic. Another thing I've done is I've made the hook. This is a lot thicker metal than what the hooks usually are. This was all I could find, and it was a pain to twist it and bend it like it is, but it'll work either way. There's the hook. You can see the bottom rail. That's about it. Still working on it. So, got the wiring kit today. Got it going. Got it inside. Got my LED blinking. I'm kind of disappointed these hat lights don't light up that well, but that's because they're resin. That's coming together. Okay, so far I've got my lighting kit installed. As you can see, it works on the cyclotron and the power cell as well. I do not have the soundboard installed, but I have the amplifier here, speakers, and then I've got all my wiring for all my sound triggers. Although I do have to do a relay for the actual firing trigger, because it is a 3.5 volt regular, and then when it sends signal it jumps to 5 or 6 volt. So what I have to do is find a relay that has a tolerance that's lower than that, or higher than that 3.5, so that it can activate the signal to send the sound. So here's my Proton Pack so far. I'm still working on the electrical. All the lighting's done. I've got the 3D printer going over there, printing out some 9-volt battery holders for the amplifier, because this will have a sound kit installed. Just waiting on some stuff to come in the mail. But as you can see, it's pretty cool. Functions as it would in the movie. As you can see, it all lights up. The switch powers this light, and it'll also power the sound effects, so that when this comes on, you'll hear the power on sound. As you see, the wand is almost done. I did some weathering to it, put a few scratches in it, some chips in the paint, just to make it look more realistic. I made it look like the grips were made of wood with the paint fading off, just like in the movie. So there's that. But it's looking pretty good. It's coming along. Be ready for C2E2, hopefully. I'll get everything I need and be rocking it. So here it is, completely built. So, I know that my video jumps pretty far ahead, so I want to talk about some of the stuff that I didn't talk about, that I didn't film. Obviously it went from being a plastic back-formed piece to a finished piece. Now there's a few things that vary from the video to the actual finished piece. First of all, the cyclotron piece here is actually 3D printed. It came in 8 different pieces, well actually 12 if you count the rings for the lights. I basically bondoed and glued them all together. The original piece for the cyclotron was actually damaged in a move. You can see right there. There it is. I moved twice, so that got damaged. The same thing with the end filter, so I actually have a 3D printed one also. So it's finished in a black hammered finish paint. And also, as you can see, has all the proper labels from GV fans. Some are foil labels, some are regular vinyl labels. As you can see, it has the ribbon cable that I got off eBay. I made this piece out of wood and just painted it silver, but you really can't tell. It looks the part. My crank knob that I got off eBay. This is a dishwasher drain hose that I painted black. It was actually gray. The power cell is 3D printed, and the gun mount box is 3D printed. Also, this is a piece of PVC that I filled with Bondo and casting resin. I used a washer, and I basically made that part. So, let's see, 3D printed resistors on here. This piece is also 3D printed. I got some copper tubing here that I got at the auto parts store, and it's got some clippers, the brass clippered fittings off of eBay I purchased as well. The 3D printed legless elbows on here, and a 3D printed bumper. But that's pretty much it. That's it as a whole. And of course, it has full lights and sound. I did add a piece of white milk crate in here with black strips of tape, electrical tape. So it's kind of difficult to get a good shot of that. There we go. So, that's pretty much it, guys. That's the whole Proton Pack. In addition to that, I have several other accessories: the ghost trap, ecto goggles, the belt. I have a complete costume. The only thing I don't have is PKE meter. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and all that jazz. Too shabby.